Hello, and welcome to the episode of Todd Talks, when Todd Talks people listen, because it's time to listen. Time, huh? Thanks for the tip. Yes, I have officially gotten my Time, huh shirt. It was actually a Christmas gift, and then I bought the Team Death Battle shirt. But hopefully, hopefully, not only do you like it, but you are ready for today's video, because this video, which sadly will be the last one until Death Battle returns, is going to be my Season 9 predictions. And if you haven't checked out my Season 8 recap, that is available. And if you haven't seen my top 10 Death Battle episodes, the link is below in both the description and in the comments, because I sometimes miss time when the thing uploads. But yes, today I am talking about both the preview that we did see for Season 9 and what many are believing are going to be the matchups there, as well as I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 matchups that I would like to see in Death Battle Season 9. And only one of them I mentioned last year. Pretty sure you all know which one it is. Wink. Alright, let's get it started. First up, we have one that was absolutely confirmed. We have Tanjiro from Demon Slayer, and I mean, he's confirmed because we all saw that in the teaser, his water skills. And then a lot of people think, there are a few matchups for him apparently, but the one that a lot of people think is going to happen is Jonathan Joestar, who was the, is it great-grandfather, right? Yeah, great-grandfather or whatever to Jotaro Kujo, aka Jojo. So I'm honestly not sure the connections between these ones. This one, my Demon Slayer knowledge is very limited. I had to write one script about Mugen Train, but that was just about what happened. I only know loosely. Like, I know Tanjiro was on a mission to kill all the demons because of what happened to his sister, and I actually know how it ends because I had to write about that one time. So that's why they're probably putting in Tanjiro, because we got, a season or so of anime footage, and then the manga is done. The manga is completely done. So I'm not surprised that they're bringing in Demon Slayer, given its massive popularity right now. And if you look at like the matchups that they have, a lot of times the anime matchups are the ones that do a lot of views, like Dio Card and Madara Aizen, Naruto Ishigo. They get a lot of views for those, so I'm not surprised. I have no bias in this one. Again, I've never seen JoJo or Demon Slayer, and I only knew about Jonathan Joestar because of the Dio episode, so I'm curious about how that will play out. Definitely a 2D matchup, though. All right, the next one, I don't get this matchup. This one I just don't understand. It's Vegeta versus Thor. In the preview, we see Vegeta doing his, like well, we used to call it the suicide attack, but in the Universal Tournament arc, he was able to withstand the attack. So I don't get it. This one was a DBX. Last time? Last season, the season before that. I didn't like it. I didn't like that one. I felt the 3D was bad. I didn't like the Thor model at all. I mean, gosh, what the heck? I mean, I get it. They're princes. They're princes of power. Get it? Princess of power. Princes of power. Meant to be the rulers of the race, but things always happen to them. They have incredible levels of power, and I just don't know why this matchup, though. I mean, granted, it's better than Vegeta versus Shadow. Remember, Vegeta was S1, I think. What S1 or early S2, but so I mean, I'm not mad that Vegeta's coming back, or Thor's coming back for that matter. This will be Thor's third death battle, so he beat Raiden and lost to Wonder Woman, and everyone's saying that this is going to be a stomp for Thor, like he's going to beat Vegeta. So whatever, we'll make it work. We'll make it work if it's true. If it's true. Okay, this one is very curious because I have no idea about this character. It's Tetsuo, who I have heard is from Akira, aka one of the most iconic anime movies / properties of all time. If you've ever seen a character slide dramatically on a motorcycle, that's Akira reference. That's a Akira reference. And then Tetsuo was the bad guy, I'm told, or the antagonist, or whatever. And he's going up against, apparently, Magneto. Okay, I really don't know. I didn't realize that Tetsuo had magnetism powers. I don't think he does, but I really don't know. I've never seen Akira. I know it's Sumi. Okay. Hey, I've also never watched JoJo or Demon Slayer, and I just got done with One Punch Man. All right. It was all right. First season was good. Second season questionable. I was gonna go in a rant there, but I'll say that for another video. All right. Magneto is a very interesting character because I've heard Chad James, multiple Death Battle casts, say that Magneto is an incredibly difficult character to bring in because he is an Omega level mutant and he has been shown to do absolutely stupid things with his magnetism. Like, if you think Storm was broken with what she could do with her storm powers, Magneto is just as broken, and it's only gotten worse / better because of the recent X-Men arc with you know, House of X, Powers of 10, and all of them that came from it. He helped terraform Mars. And he had to use an incredible amount of iron to do so. And he's also beaten Apocalypse by frying the synapses, which are electrical in nature, in his brain. So yeah, I don't know. Like, it would have to. If this is the matchup, then this will be an interesting one because I don't know much about Tetsuo, but I know how broken Magneto can be. So curiouser and curiouser. All right, this one I'm not surprised they're doing in part, even if I feel there could be technically better matchups here. Scarlet Witch, that was so obvious. You know, her vision from WandaVision. Aha, I didn't intend that one, but that's funny nonetheless. So Scarlet Witch versus Zatanna. Now, I've heard a lot of people say that Scarlet Witch has this in the bag. I think they're actually underestimating Zatanna. And I'm not doing the whole, faith thing, all right? Zatanna is one of the most powerful magicians in all of DC Comics, and Scarlet Witch, by default, is one of the most powerful chaos users in all of Marvel. I mean, we all know about No More Mutants, but it's a little more complicated than that. And she had a crazy thing where she died, came back to life, technically, then fully, then magic. It's weird. All right, Trial of Magneto was weird. See, Magneto, Scarlet Witch. It's perfect. Father and daughter, kind of. Stupid comics. But seriously, Zatanna's gone through some weird stuff herself. If you have not read the Justice League Dark arc that came from DC Rebirth, with Zatanna and Constantine and Wonder Woman and Detective Chimp and all of them, read I think it's called Otherworld or what was it? It features a character called the Upside Down Man, which is a literal eater of magic, and Zatanna was able to beat him through magic, which she should not have been able to do. So don't underestimate Zatanna. I have to do my research on both, but don't underestimate Zatanna. All right. Next up, this one's very interesting, and a possible Halloween episode, though not guaranteed. Actually, I guess not, because if the ones in the previews are always in the first season or first half. Anyway, we got Boba Fett. Yes, he was in the preview. That character that was shown climbing up the rock face, that was Boba Fett, versus the Predator. Yeah, Predator. This one's interesting. I would not have thought about this matchup, but then apparently I saw a lot of people showing me fan art of this matchup, and it makes sense. One's a bounty hunter, and one's a legendary just hunter. Remember, the Predators would not just come to Earth, but then took people to their world to hunt them down so that they could test their hunting abilities. And of course, there was a Xenomorph War in the two movies. We don't like to talk about them. Who thought it was a good idea to merge the Predator and the Alien? Hey, it's a Predalien. That doesn't mean anything. Anyway, this one has to be 3D. Full stop. It has to be 3D. And then we already know they have a Boba Fett model because of Samus versus Boba Fett remaster. So Predator has to be 3D. I mean, the whole point is that it's an invisible creature. It's meant to be, they'll definitely fight in the jungle, say maybe Endor area kind of thing. And this one has to be 3D. Yeah, I think this will be interesting. Yeah. Yeah, this will be interesting. If not him, I really don't know who Boba Fett will go against, because the obvious one was Samus. You could do Halo, but Samus versus Master Chief is the one that everyone wants to do. So yeah, more likely Boba versus Predator, which is fine, especially with the book of Boba Fett having just come out. I wouldn't be surprised if they well, the season's going to end by February, so we'll just see how it goes. I wouldn't be surprised if that's how you started. That one or Tanjiro, with the Demon Slayer popularity. You never know. And finally, Jinx versus Harley Quinn. So Jinx is League of Legends, who of course had the Arcane animated thing come out on Netflix, which was hugely popular. League of Legends is infinitely popular, and will be our first League of Legends character in Death Battle, which is pretty cool. And of course, Harley Quinn is infinitely popular, especially after New 52 and the Batman animated series. I know she was born in the Batman animated series, but then went into the comics. The New 52 blew her up because, in the good way, because she was in Suicide Squad, which put her into the movie, which made her a much more mainstream character, which of course led to the animated series on HBO Max. Highly recommend it. She's great. Like, Harley is great. Now, if they can only just figure out that her perfect soulmate is Poison Ivy, but I will get to that later. So this one's interesting. I did not think about this matchup because I don't play League of Legends, but apparently this is the matchup. That makes sense because the only other one really for Harley is Gwenpool from Marvel, and let's just say a lot of people do not like that matchup. Okay. All right, so those are the 6 matchups that a lot of people think are going to happen based on the preview. Now let's get to the ones that I feel I would like to see this year. And some of them I think honestly have a good chance. First up, we have Dimitri from Fire Emblem Three Houses versus Guts from Berserk. Why this matchup? Okay, Fire Emblem has never been in Death Battle. And a lot of people, including Ben Singer himself, has wondered, why is that? And the answer is stats. Let me explain. Fire Emblem, not unlike, say, Final Fantasy, has it to where when you level up, you get increased stats. And that's fine. The difference is that in Fire Emblem, you actually have ways of manipulating the stats in certain ways, like feeding them certain items or whatever. Or you can have a fixed path route or a custom random path route. So in essence, it's kind of hard to measure how good these characters are. Not to mention, especially in the early games, there weren't cutscenes to showcase definitive powers. So for example, the character I want in Death Battle more than anything is Ike from Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn. And he has a lot of cutscenes and canonical victories to work with. But even then, it's hard to measure just how fast he is, how strong he is, how good he is, even though he's freaking Ike, all right? But the difference here is that with Dimitri, he was in Fire Emblem Three Houses, which had not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 different paths that you could take, and thus they can pull from all of them because they're all canon, technically. Think multiverse. And so you can pull his strength and skills from that because he is known as a berserker in the field. He's the wild boar, as a certain swordsman liked to call him. And who do we know who's a berserker? Guts! Okay, and Guts hasn't been in Death Battle since the Nightmare fight, which a lot of people, including me, wonder if that was actually accurate. I don't know, but Dimitri, of course, especially in his in certain arcs where he did not get redeemed, he was just a wild beast of a fighter, mowing down enemies, and that's very much like Guts. So I think this one will be fun. This will definitely be a 2D fight. I mean, it could be 3D, I suppose, but something tells me it'd be easier to get sprites for both than it would be 3D models, but you never know. So don't knock it. And hey, and I'm also putting a caveat in here. I just think it'd be great to have a Fire Emblem character in Death Battle, whether it's Marth or Ike or Dimitri or Edelgard. I know a lot of people want to see Edelgard in there. Fire Emblem needs to be represented. Full stop. All right, this one's a little bit more standard, and it's actually a half taking from last year's prediction video because if you recall, I said I would like to see Akuma versus Liu Kang. We got Akuma, and I even noted Oni/Shin Akuma in my prediction video then, but we did not get Liu Kang. So I would like to see Liu Kang versus Jago from Killer Instinct. I actually can't remember the last time I had a Killer Instinct character. It might have been TJ Combo, I think. If I'm wrong, correct me. I didn't take a look at the playlist, but it has been a while. I know we definitely didn't have Killer Instinct last season. Oh wait, no. Saberwolf. We had Saberwolf, right? It was Saberwolf versus John Talbot. Okay, so that was 2 Halloweens ago. So yeah, but we definitely didn't have a Killer Instinct character last season. All right, but So yes, Jago is one of the demigod warriors, and Liu Kang is now a demigod because of Fire Emblem, because of Mortal Kombat 11. So putting their demigodhoods against one another, both competent and capable martial arts masters, able to beating very impressive god characters. What was it? Jago beat Idol, I believe it was, and of course Liu Kang has beaten uh, Shao Kahn the Conqueror multiple times. So why not? All right, this next one I'm basing off of the fact that Ben said that next season, this upcoming season, will feature characters from properties that you wouldn't think of having in Death Battle. And that makes me think of books. Now, not comic books. We've plenty of those characters. I already listed plenty of them just the first few. No, I'm talking about books, like novels, ones that have been adapted. And so the obvious one for me is Aragorn from Lord of the Rings versus Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. And yes, I know Game of Thrones is not done. It probably will never be finished. Let's be honest with you. If George R. R. Martin couldn't get it done while all the series made his books even more popular, and he had the motivation to get it done then, why would he get it done now, given what happened at the end of season 8, which we're all still bitter about, I hope. So the reason this one works is that they honestly have a lot to discern from Aragorn, obviously, with the 3 books, but also with Jon Snow, because we know how he was trained, and the books end, if I recall correctly, with Jon Snow's death, but we all know he's coming back. So even with that somewhat limited pool, we know that there were major fights and abilities and things that he has. He's defeated White Walkers. He's fought his own men. He's fought the wildlings. He's got experience, and that would be enough for him to, I think, go up against Aragorn. So, and honestly, I think that's a fun matchup. Both were outcasts. Both were meant to be kings, and technically both became kings, even if we just go by the Game of Thrones series. King of the North, and then technically King of the Wildlings. So I think that would be fun. Could you imagine if they did that in live action? That would actually be a worthy live action death battle for them. All right. Yeah. You know what? Maybe. Yeah. Let's do that. So yeah, Aragorn, Jon Snow, live action death battle. Book it. All right. Next up, this is a personal favorite of mine. If some of you saw me on the Discord servers that I'm in, with the Brandon Yates one, the official death battle server, I had someone make a trailer for me of characters I wanted to see next season, and Aragorn versus Jon Snow was in there, as well as Dimitri Guts. But this one was the pinnacle. Gene Starwind from Outlaw Star versus Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop. Yeah. Both are space cowboys with very interesting sets of skills. Both have very interesting ships and a crew to pilot them. Both have a kind of a devil-may-care attitude at times, with backstories that matter. And both series are about them, overcoming certain flaws of theirs to save the day, even though only one of them lives at the end of their series. Gene Starwind and Outlaw Star are my favorites. Outlaw Star is my favorite anime ever, period. Even though, a lot of people say, oh, but Cowboy Bebop, no. Outlaw Star, period. So, but given what happened with the Netflix series, this might be a great way for them to, kind of honor the true Cowboy Bebop. And, they actually did a community death battle on this, and Gene won, I think. So it doesn't matter, but this will be a fun one. Definitely 2D death battle, but if they could do this hand-drawn, that would be awesome too, honoring the anime roots. So you never know. You never know. All right, next up, it's one I don't think you've heard of before. Sly Cooper versus Rocket Raccoon. What? Okay, I told you I was going to have one copy from last year, and I still have hope. I have to believe. I just want this fight. I'm also trying to work with Death Battle, or get hired by Death Battle, so that I can pitch them this fight and ask to write this fight, because I want this fight. So if you haven't seen my breakdown of this and the custom track I had Brandon Yates make for me on this, please go watch it. You can find it in my video library. I really do want this matchup. It's a lot closer than you might think it is, even though I technically don't know the winner. I really don't. I know who could win on both sides, but I still think it's to be determined who wins. All right, this next one I definitely think will be interesting. And it also was a death battle, or sorry, death DBX from last year. Sans versus Ness. Yeah, and this would also apply to the how can we bring them in the death battle, because Sans in Undertale is not your typical character. Okay, fourth wall breaking, has the one heart that you have to kill and all that or whatever. And I never played Undertale, but I know enough. And then you have Ness, who's like a more typical RPG character, but has this amazing psi power. And they did a fun matchup for them in DBX, but why not go full tilt? Why not decide? Because I've seen this matchup requested a lot, especially because Undertale is so popular and Earthbound is eternal. So, and I have played Earthbound. I've never beaten it, but I played it. Okay, so soon. But I'm just trying to think outside the box. Outside the box. Okay. Finally, and I put this one just because I wanted another video game matchup of sorts. And I've seen this one requested a lot on the servers. Shulk from Xenoblade Chronicles versus Lightning from Final Fantasy XIII. I know Final Fantasy XIII Saga has not gotten a lot of love over the years, but you played it, and clearly you played it because they made 3 games of it, all right? So I don't know. And Lightning, for one reason or another, is still popular enough. I mean, she was in PlayStation Battle Royale, All-Stars Battle Royale. She was in Dissidia, of course. And I don't know why they want to put her against Shulk, but I've honestly seen this matchup a lot. And Shulk is another character that it would be interesting to see how Death Battle quantifies his abilities in regards to the Monado and, of course, the Foresight ability. And there's a lot of interesting ways that this could play. And Lightning, I know, is very, very powerful. So I think that would be fun. This would definitely have to be a 3D fight because of the models that would be used. But I think, and this is another way of bringing in Final Fantasy, because most times when you bring in Final Fantasy characters, it's Final Fantasy VII. Okay? Cloud, Sephiroth, Tifa. Is that it? Is that all the Final Fantasy characters? So there you go. That's the only Final Fantasy characters we've had in there, right? So I'm not missing one. I mean, they haven't what was the clown? Klefka? All right, yeah, so they haven't done him. No, yeah, they've done Noctis. I know Noctis is a curious one to bring in as well. But yeah, so that's the only Final Fantasy VII characters they brought in. So why not bring one from another game? And again, Lightning does have a fan base, so why not? And this will be also a great way to bring in another franchise with Xenoblade Chronicles. So I think that'd be fun. And with that, 13 battles that I have listed, I am going to end this episode of Todd Talk. What did you think of the matchups listed, both ones from the preview and my personal selections? Let me know in the comments below. And please do check out that top 10 Death Battle episodes list that I put in the description and the comments, and let me know about your favorite death battles of all time, and what are your personal predictions for Season 9. I will see you all in the new season. So thank you for watching. If you made it this far, I know you were listening, and I'll see you around.